Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you know, my name is Ruby. In this video I am going to address a very important question, and the question, actually we all have this one question, that why do I feel hesitant and why do I go blank while speaking in English, which means most of the viewers ask that I do not feel confident. The first question. The second question is that I do not get words, my mind goes blank, that what to say next I don't feel. Okay, means words does not come to my mind. Okay, this is the basic question, that whenever I go to speak in English, words don't come to my mind. Okay, so see, it is the issue. Okay, I do believe that it will happen at the initial stage. Okay, you must have felt many time, okay, in my videos, that most of the time I don't feel coming words in my mind, but however I do not stop and just keep on speaking, right? So why do I do that? So it is the solution of it, that let's take a, I will say, let's take a reasons of it, that why does it happen, right? That what are the reasons why do we not feel coming words into our mind whenever we start speaking in English. Okay, it will happen at the beginning stage. Yeah, so why does it happen? Okay, so there is one thing, that we have a lack of practice. Okay, but all the time saying this one solution, that practice, there could be some other reasons as well. So that's what I am going to address that. Okay, so see what happens. Actually we have a lot of language, right? We know that we live in a diverse country where most of the people, they have their own mother tongue language, right? Let's take, if you go to the Gujarat, so you will have the Gujarati language, right? If you go to the Maharashtra, you will have a Marathi. If you go to the Bihar, so you will have the Bhojpuri, right? So there are many languages and we are exposed to those languages, correct? So however, we have a kind of, if you are living in Delhi, so see what will happen. First you have the Hindi language, of course, and the second you have your mother tongue language, and the third one, which is the English one, right? So however, we have a lot of languages and we have to learn and we have to absorb all those languages, right? So that's why it becomes very difficult when it comes to talk in English, right? So it happens only because of one reason, that we have a lot of languages, and because of which mind sometimes goes confused that which language we need to adopt that. Okay, so see, there is only one solution. Many of you have a query that, ma'am, I do not have words, correct? Whenever I talk in English, so words don't come to my mind. So there is only one solution of it, the substitution. Okay, alternative words. You can go for the alternative words, which means you can try for the alternative words. See what happens whenever you want to talk to anyone over any English, over on any topic of English, of course I mean to say that. Yeah, so what you have to do that, it's all you need to do, you have to search for substitution, which means you need to go for the alternative words. Okay, because there is no any word which does not have the substitution. Of course we have always substitution and the alternative words. However, because most of the people actually when they are kind of advanced speakers, so they start speaking in advanced language and they use a lot of new vocabs, of course, and the fancy words. But it is the beginning stage, we do not have that kind of set of words. Even though we want to use those appropriate word at a particular time, it does not come to my mind, right? It happens only because of that we are not very familiar with English, right? Because of which it happens. The second, I would say, go for the substitution. First I told you, okay, but there are some ways how you can go for the substitution. See, everything has two ways to learn something. Okay, first either you can observe, and the second that you give a lot of importance on the potentiality of that language, that yeah, anyhow have to learn this, right? These are the two ways. So first ways we have to go for, that we have to observe the things. Okay, and when I say for the substitution, for the alternative words, which means if you want to say one sentence, right, and you feel that sentence, for that sentence I have forgotten that appropriate word which don't come to my mind, so you can do one thing is go for the substitution. And how would you do that? So of course, like if you want to say, okay, I am exhausted, so exhausted, it is the kind of, you can say the good word, of course not advanced, but you can say the good word, the medium word, which people use most of the time in the sense of tiredness. So if you don't feel and if you don't come up with this word exhausted, so say I'm tired, right? So there are many basic words which you can say, and many advanced speakers, they speak a very basic English and the basic vocabularies they use, but the problem is they speak a very fast English, right? Very fluently. That's why it's very difficult sometime to even understand, okay, because of their fluency in terms of idioms, on the phrasal verbs and all. Of course, that is the next part that we can apply. The first, our problem is that we need to address this problem and we need to come up with the solution, that how can we overcome this problem of us, that is words don't come to mind. Of course, to go for the substitution, right? I told you what is the way. So go for the basic words, no need to whatever your words. And sometimes what happens, that whenever you try to speak in English and you try to describe something, so while describing, what happens, that we do not feel that we are using appropriate words. So no, doesn't matter, okay, our main attention should be to communicate, right, and to convey our message to other one, the person with whom we are talking, correct? So that's what you have to do, that just go for the basic words, okay. And I told you what is the reason of it, why words don't come to mind, right? Because we have a lot of language, so mind has to adapt a lot of languages, because of which it happens. So I told you go for the substitution, okay. And the second thing you can say, there's another problem as well, okay, in this, that I do not have whenever I talk in English, right, so I do not have the environment, correct? There is a lot of this problem for many of us, that we do not have this environment. Actually, this is the query of my sister as well. She says, and you must be wondering, okay, that my sister, of course I can speak, so why can't she? Actually, see what happens, actually when you eagerly try to learn, so this thing would become your habit. But in terms of my sister, you can say she is a kind of procrastinating, right? She will not give that much of importance, so because of which it happens, okay. And she has another problem as well. So I thought that in this video, of course, I will take all the queries and the major problem of my sister which she faces, and says that this happens to me whenever I try to speak in English, right? So I have told her already, go for the substitution. The second problem is that, of course, basically from her is whenever she talks in English, she finishes her answer very quickly. However, she does not practice out loud, okay. All the time she practices in her mind and she does not speak out loud. That's the biggest problem of hers. And she says, I am done with this topic. Of course, I would be very confident, but what's the problem? I have asked to her and she says that I have learned this topic, okay, and I would be talking with that person. I said, okay, it's a good stuff. And then she would say, I practice in my mind a lot, even I speak, okay, all of those things, but when it comes to execute in an out loud way, so what happens, I forget everything, I do not say anything, and my sounds, it is kind of very miserable, you can say, and it's not good at all. So that's what she does. First, she goes to talk to someone, okay, she speaks in her mind, she does not speak out loud, and that's the biggest issue. She says that my sounds, when it comes out of the mouth, okay, it does not feel good, it does not sound good. That's what she says. So this is the biggest issue, that's what it happens. So I have a suggestion, that before talking to anybody, practice of that topic at least for 10 minutes out loud. I'm not saying that you have to do like my sister, that she does all the time only in her mind. You don't need to do that, okay. You have to speak out loud. That's what that's why there are many mentors, they will always give us suggestions that go for the newspaper reading, right? And you don't have to read only in your mouth and only in your inside the mind. Of course, you have to read that out loud, so that your tongue, your muscles of the tongue, okay, of course, it would be habitual to that particular language, because you are not habitual, as well as you are not familiar with this. So this is the biggest issue, and that's what I wanted to say, that go for the substitution. And second, whenever you go to talk anybody, just practice of that topic for 5 minutes, okay, so that you will be kind of confident. But don't do that you have just talked only in your mind, but you have not spoken out loud. Don't do that, okay? Like my sister. Yeah, I have given this suggestion to her as well, and I hope that you will be applying this, and hope this video will help you in terms of your language. So that's what I wanted to share. If you like this video, so please do like my video and share, and please subscribe and share with your friends so that they could also learn that. So till the time, keep learning and keep smiling. Bye.